In the ultra-competitive class of high-riding extravagance family limos, the QX80's Infiniti identification and premium evaluating pitted against settled-in and very competent upmarket options. A fancy outside and a cowhide-bound lodge are standard in the SUV stratosphere, yet this enormous bodied ute is more a deception of wealth than a real extravagance choice. The reason is that the QX80's loosening upright and responsive V8 powertrain are additionally accessible on the practically indistinguishable and undeniably progressively moderate Nissan Armada. Indeed, the Infiniti may have a prettier face and a superior rundown of standard highlights than its corporate kin, however it doesn't convey the excellent experience of its top-of-the-line rivals. For 2019, the QX80 includes another untouchable model called the Limited. Alongside standard all-wheel drive and driver help highlights, it has selective outside and inside subtleties that incorporate a one-of-a-kind paint shading and upscale lodge materials. This implies open-pore wood emphasizes, fake calfskin surfaces, and a two-tone shading plan. Each model presently has standard forward impact cautioning with person-on-foot location and computerized crisis braking. The base QX80 is a few $1,000s less expensive than generally equals. Be that as it may, an all-wheel drive form without alternatives costs nearly equivalent to the superb Mercedes-Benz GLS450. In like manner, an untouchable GMC Yukon Denali with all-wheel drive is in that equivalent ballpark and has a superior powertrain and increasingly standard highlights. While the QX80 can be decked out with extravagant and cutting-edge highlights, they expect you to include different alternative bundles that rapidly increment the asking cost. Since we think most choices have more an incentive at that cost, we'd just include the driver assistance bundle and the individual Wi-Fi hotspot. In our testing, the 400-horsepower 5.6-liter V8 and 7-speed program transmission propelled the 3-ton Infiniti from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds. While that is expedient for its size, each other contender we tried was considerably speedier. In any case, we cherished the motor's even power conveyance and smart throttle reaction. Too awful it was difficult to hustle on the parkway, with a transmission that wavered to downshift. Else, it dashed around town with effortlessness, its fumes notes snarling after overwhelming footed quickening agent applications. The QX80 can tow 8,500 pounds in either the back-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive setup, which coordinates the Yukon's maximum limit and beats the Mercedes by 1,000 pounds. In our grasp, the QX80's ride was featured by its solace, particularly contrasted and the rougher rides of opponents from General Motors. In any case, the Infiniti felt less athletic than the GLS450, the Yukon, and the Cadillac Escalade. While those choices had more straightforward controlling, the QX80's light rudder was well-disposed around town and consistent on the throughway. In case you're searching for a extravagance SUV with more honed driving elements, you should look somewhere else, yet the Infiniti's peacefully character will fulfill purchasers who need to be cosseted. Contingent upon the driving conditions, the QX80's brake pedal feel vacillated among delicate and firm. Be that as it may, the Infiniti required just 175 feet to stop in our crisis braking test, 9 feet not exactly the nearest rival. Basically, the QX80 has horrendous mileage. Its monstrous opponents have evaluations that are considerably better, which says more regarding the Infiniti than about them. The adaptation we tried additionally underachieved on our roadway test circuit, gaining 17 miles per gallon in reality versus its evaluated 19 miles per gallon. The standard 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment framework, called InTouch, is